impact of the hard-packed earth on the plains knocks the wind out of me. My backpack does little to soften the blow. Fortunately, my quiver has caught in the crook of my elbow, sparing both myself and my shoulder, and my bow is locked in my grasp. The ground still shakes with explosions. I can't hear them. I can't hear anything at the moment, but the apples might have set off enough mines, causing debris to activate the others. I managed to shield my face with my arms and scatter bits of matter, some of it burning rain down upon me. The acrid smoke fills the air, which is not the best remedy for someone trying to regain the ability to breathe. After about a minute, the ground stops vibrating. I roll on my side and allow my motive of satisfaction on the sight of the smoldering wreckage of that was recently the pyramid. The curious aren't likely to salvage anything from that. I'd better get out of here, I think. They'll be making a beeline for this place. But once I'm on my feet, I realize escape might not be so simple. I'm dizzy. Not the slightly wobble kind, but the kind that sends the trees swooping around you and causes the earthy moving waves under your feet. I take a few steps and somehow wound up on my hands and knees. I wait for a few minutes to let it pass, but it doesn't. Panic begins to set in. I can't stay here. Flight is essential, but I can't neither walk nor hear. I place a hand to my left ear. The one has been turned down to the blast, and it comes away bloody. Have I gotten deaf from the explosion? The idea frightens me. I rely much on my ears as my eyes as a hunter, maybe more at times, but I can't let my fear show. Nobody. Absolutely positively, I'm live on every screen in Pana. No blood trails, I tell myself. I manage to pull up my hood over my head, tie the cord around my chin with the uncooperated fingers. That should help soak up the blood. I can't walk, but can I crawl? I move forward tentatively. Yes, if I go very slowly, I can crawl. Most of the woods will offer insufficient cover. My only hope is that to make it back to Roost copse and conceal myself in greenery. I can't get caught out here on my hands and knees in the open. Not only will I face death, it'll sure be a long and painful one in Cato's hands. The thought of Prim having to watch that keeps me dodgily inching my way toward the hideout. Another blast knocks me flat on my face. A straight mine, set off by some collapsing crate. This happens twice more. It reminds me of those last kernels that burst when Prim and I popcorn over the fire at home. To say I made it in the nick of time is an understatement. I have literally just dragged myself into a tangle of bushes at the base of the trees when there's Cato, barreling through the path, soon follows by his companions. His rage is so extreme it might be comical. Some people do tear out their hair and bare the ground with their fists, and if I didn't know that it was aimed at me, what I'd done to him. Add to my proximity my inability to run or defend myself. In fact, the whole thing has me terrified. I'm glad my hiding place makes it impossible for the cameras to get a close shot of me because I'm biting my nails like there's no tomorrow, gnawing of the last bits of nail polish trying to keep my teeth from chattering. The boy from District 3 throws stones into ruins that must be declared all the mines activated because the creators are approaching the wreckage. Cato has finished the last phase of his trantom and takes out his anger by smoking remains by kicking open various containers. The other tributes are poking around in the mess, looking for anything to salvage, but there's nothing. The boy from District 3 has done his job too well. This idea must occur to Credo too, because he turns on the boy and appears to be shouting at him. The boy from District 3 only has time to turn and run before Cato catches him in a headlock from behind. I can see the muscles ripping in Cato's arm as he sharply jerks the boy head to the side, and it's quick. The death of the boy from District 3. The other two curious him trying to calm Cato down. I can see he wants to return to the woods, but they keep pointing at the sky, which puzzling me until I realize. Of course, they think whoever set off the explosion is dead. They don't know about the arrows and the apples. They assume the booby trap was faulty, but that the tribute who blew up the supplies were killed doing it. It wasn't a cannon shot. It could have been easily lost in the subsequent explosions. They shattered the remains of the thief removed by a hovercraft. They retired to the far side of the lake to allow the game makers to retrieve the body of the boy from District 3. And then they wait, and they wait. I suppose a cannon goes off. A hovercraft appears and takes a dead boy. The sun dips below the horizon. Night must have begun. A moment of darkness. They show the boy from District 3. They show the boy from District 10 who must have died this morning. Then the seal reappears, and they know. The bomber survived. In the seal's light, I can see Kato and the girl from District 2 put on their night vision glasses. The boy from District 1 ignites the tree branch with a torch, illuminating the grim determination in all their faces. The creators stride back into the woods to hunt. The dizziness has subsided, and while my left ear is still deafened, I can hear a ringing in my right, which seems a good sign. There's no point in leaving my hiding place, though. I'm about as safe as I can be here at the crime scene. They probably think the bomber is a 2 or 3 hour lead on them. Still, it's a long time before I can risk moving. The first thing I do is dig out my own glasses and put them on, which relaxes me a little. To have at least one of my hunter senses working. I drink some water and wash the blood off my ear. Fearing the smell of meat would draw unwanted predators, fresh blood is bad enough. I make a good meal out of the greens and roots and berries Rue has gathered today. Where is my little ally? Did she make it back to the river problem? Is she worried about me? At least the sky has shown we're both alive. I run through the surviving tributes on my fingers. The boy from 1, both from 2, Foxface, both from 11 and 12. That's 8 of us. The betting will be getting hot, really hot in the capital. They're still doing special features on each of us now, probably interviewing our friends and families. It's been a long time since a tribute from District 12 has made it into the top 8, and now there are 2 of us. Although from what Kato said, Petro's on his way out. Not that Kato in the final word or anything. Didn't he just lose his entire stash of supplies? Let the 74th Hunger Games begin, Kato, I think. Let them begin for real. A cool breeze has sprung up. I reach for my sleeping bag before I can remember I left it with Rue. I was supposed to pick up another one with the mines and all, I forgot. I began to shiver. Since roosting overnight in a tree is insensible anyway, I scoop out a hollow under the bushes and cover myself with leaves and pine needles. I'm still freezing. I lay my sheath of plastic over my upper body and position my backpack to block the wind. It's a little better. I begin to have more sympathy for the girl from District 8 that lit the fire the first night. But now it's me who needs to grit my teeth and tough it out until morning. More leaves, more pine needles. I pull my arm inside my jacket and tuck my knees up to my chest. Somehow, I drift off to sleep. When I open my eyes, the world seems slightly fractured, which makes a minute to realize the sun must be well up and the glasses fragmenting my vision. As I sit up and remove them, I hear a laugh somewhere near the lake and freeze. The laugh distorted, but the fact that it's registered, that means I'm regaining my hearing. Yes, my right ear can hear again, although it's still ringing. As for my left ear, well, at least the bleeding has stopped. I peer through the bushes, afraid the couriers have returned, trapping me here for an indefinite time. No, it was Foxface, standing in the rubble of the pyramid and laughing. She's smarter than the couriers, actually finding a few useful items at ashes. A metal pot, a knife blade. I'm perplexed by amusement when I realize that with the carrier stores eliminated, she might actually stand the chance, just like the rest of us. It crosses my mind to reveal myself and list her as a second ally against my tap, but I rule it out. There's something about that sly grin that makes me sure that befriending Foxface will ultimately get me a knife in the back. With that in mind, this might be an excellent time to shoot her, but she's heard something, not me, because her head turns toward the drop-off and she sprints for the woods. I wait. No one. Nothing shows. Still, Foxface thought it was dangerous. Maybe it's time for me to get out of here too. Besides, I'm eager to tell Rue about the pyramid. Since I've no idea where the couriers are, the route back the stream seems as good as any. I hurry, loaded bow in one hand, a hunk of cold gristling in the other, because I'm famished now, and not just for the leaves and berries, but for the fat protein and meat. The trip in the stream is uneventful. There, I refill my water and wash, taking a particular care of my injured ear. Then I travel uphill using the stream as guide. At one point, I find the boot prints in the mud in the bank. The couriers must have been here, but not for a while. The prints are deep because they were made in soft mud, but now they're nearly dry in the hot sun. I haven't been careful enough about my own tracks, counting on the light tread on my pine needles and to conceal my prints. Now I strip on my boots and socks to go barefoot in the bed of the stream. The cool water has an invigorating effect on my body and my spirits. I shoot 2 fish, easily pickings in this slow-moving stream, and go ahead and eat one raw even though I just had the goosling. The second I'll save for Rue. Gradually, subtly, the ringing in my right ear diminishes until it's gone entirely. I found myself pawing at my left ear periodically, trying to clean away what deadens its ability to collect sounds. If there's improvement, it's undetectable. I can't adjust its deafness in the ear. It makes me feel off balance and defenseless to my left. Blind even. My head keeps turning to the injured side, as my right ear tries to compensate for the wall of nothingness that yesterday was a constant flow of information. The more time that passes, the less hopeful I am, and that is the injury that will heal. When I reach the site of our first meeting, I feel concerned it's been undisturbed. There is no sign of Rue, not on the ground or in the trees. This is odd, but now she should have returned. It's almost midday. Undoubtedly, she spent the night in the tree somewhere. What else could she do, with no light and the couriers with their night fishing glasses tromping around the woods? And the third fire she was supposed to set, although I forgot to check for it last night, was the farthest from our side of all. She probably was just being cautious about making her way back. I wish she'd hurry, because I don't want to hang around here too long. I want to spend the afternoon traveling to higher ground, hunting as we go, but there is nothing really for me but to wait. I washed the blood off my jacket and hair clean and never my ever-growing list of wounds. The burns are much better, but I use a bit of medicine on them anyway. The main thing to worry about is keeping my infection. I go ahead and eat the second fish. It isn't going to last long in the hot sun. It should be easy enough to spare a few more for Rue, if she would just show up. Feeling too vulnerable on the ground with my lopsided hearing, I scale a tree to wait. If the couriers show up, this will be a fine place to shoot them from. The sun moves slowly. I do things to pass the time. Chew leaves and apply them to my stings that deflated but still tender. Comb through my damp hair with my fingers and braid it. Lace my boots back up. Check my bow and remaining 9 ears. Test my left ear repeatedly for signs of light but rusting a leaf near it, but with good results. Despite the grousing and the fish, my stomach's growling, and I know I'm going to have what you call a hollow day back in District 12. That's a day where no matter what you put in your belly, it's never enough. Having nothing to do but sit in the tree makes it worse, so I decided to give into it. After all, I've lost a lot of weight in the arena. I need some extra calories. And having a bow and arrow makes me far more confident about my future prospects. I slowly peel and eat a handful of nuts. My last cracker, the grousing neck, it's good because it takes time to pick clean. Finally, the grousing wing and the bird is history. But it's a hollow day, and even with all that, I start daydreaming about food. Particularly the discounted dishes served in the capital. The chicken in creamy orange sauce, the cakes and pudding, bread with butter, noodles and green sauce, the lamb and dried plum stew. I suck up all the few mint leaves and tell myself to get over it. Mint is good because we drink mint tea after supper often, so it tricks my stomach into thinking eating time's over. Sort of. Dangling up into the tree, which the sun warms me, a mouthful of mint, my bow and arrow at hand. This is the most relaxed I've been since I entered the arena. If only Rue would show up, and we could clear out. As the shadows grow, though, so does my restlessness. By late afternoon, I resolved to go looking for her. I can at least visit the spot when she set the third fire and see if there is clue to her whereabouts. Before I go, I scatter a few mint leaves around our old campfire. Since we gather these some distance away, Rue will understand I've been here, while they'll mean nothing to the carriers. It's less than an hour. I'm at the place where we agreed to have the third fire, and I know something has gone amiss. The woods have been neatly arranged, expertly interpressed with tinder, but it has never been lit. Rue set up the fire, but never made it back here. Somewhere between the second and column of smoke I spied before I blew up the supplies at the point she ran into trouble. I have to remind myself she's still alive. Or is she? Could the cannon shot announcing her death could come in the wee hours in the morning where my good ear was too broken to pick it up? Will she appear in the sky tonight? No, I refuse to believe it. There could be 100 other explanations. She could have lost her weight, run into a pack of predators, or another tribute like Thresh, and had to hide. Whatever happened, I'm almost certain she stuck out there somewhere between the second fire and the unlit one at my feet. Something is keeping her up a tree. I think I'll hunt it down. It's a relief to be going somewhere after sitting around all afternoon. I creep silently through the shadows, letting them conceal me. But then nothing seems suspicious. There's no sign of struggle, no disruption of the needles on the ground. I stop for a moment when I hear it. I have to conk my head over the side to be sure, but it's again. Rue's four-note tune coming out of the Mockingjay's mouth. That means she's all right. I grin and move in the direction of the bird. Another, just a short distance ahead, picks up a handful of notes. Rue has been singing them, and recently. Otherwise, they have taken up to another song. My eyes lift up into the tree, searching for a sign of her. I swallow and sing it softly back, hoping it's safe to join me. A mockingjay repeats the melody to me. That's when I hear a scream. It's a child's scream, a young girl's scream, and there is no one in the arena capable of making that sound except Rue. And now I'm running, knowing this must be a trap, knowing the three carriers must have poised to attack me, but I can't help myself. It's another high-pitched scream, this time my name. Katniss! Katniss! Rue, I shout back. She knows I'm near, so they know I'm near, and hopefully the girl who has attacked them with the tracker-jackers had gone an 11. They can't explain will be enough to pull their attention away from her. Rue, I'm coming! When I break into the clearing, she's on the ground, hopelessly entangled in a net. She just has time to reach her hand through the mesh and say my name before a spear enters her body.